Hello and welcome to this live interaction with me, Ashish Parekh. For a long time now, there has been a lot of hue and cry about the influx of Chinese technology in India and how it actually gives China a backdoor access to information about Indians. Some experts have even gone as far as saying that once the technology has enough stronghold among the masses, it might be slowly used to push Chinese agenda into the country. But of course, all of these were just mere allegations until the Indian government decided to ban several Chinese apps, citing the threat they pose to national security. And now, looks like the perils of a Chinese company making phones for Indian users is slowly becoming more clear. Yes, the issue that I'm talking about is that now Xiaomi users have alleged that the company's phones aren't displaying weather for Arunachal Pradesh in their smartphones. And several users are taking to Twitter and alleging that the application shows weather updates for almost every Indian town and city, but it does not show weather updates for cities like Itanagar and Pasighat, which are in Arunachal Pradesh. And what fuels this fire here is the fact that the Chinese government has always contested that Arunachal Pradesh is its own territory. So, is Xiaomi, being a Chinese company that has a huge presence in India, actually pushing forward Chinese claims and agenda, or is this some technical issue? To speak to me more about this, I have with me Sagar Bidmuta, who's our expert for the day and is the founder CEO of Pune-based Mizo Messages app, and also is someone who has been recognized by MIT Technology Review as one of the young innovators under 35. First of all, Sagar, thanks a lot for joining us on this live interaction. Now, this is a very curious case that comes amid the simmering tensions between India and China, and also we've seen how this particular anger has also spilled over to Chinese companies that are big in India. Now, with this particular development, users are alleging that Xiaomi's phones appear to be carrying out some sort of a Chinese propaganda by not showing weather updates or weather data for cities in Arunachal Pradesh on their apps. And also, do you think Xiaomi phones are towing China's line that Arunachal Pradesh is not a part of India, or is this again just some sort of a technical issue that has cropped up?
Okay, thanks for having me, Ashish. So, what's happening with this, as Gaurav Chaudhary pointed out, I think this is extremely serious, and it's unfortunately, in fact, underlining the fact that the government a few months ago mentioned that a lot of Chinese apps are threat to our social security and Indian security.
Exactly.
So, if this is true and if this is happening, we don't know since when this is happening exactly, and is it happening only for particular MI versions or all MI users, etc. But this is extremely serious. I think it's very important that people of India also recognize the fact that data security and all these aspects of digital ecosystem are extremely important. So I think this is a really very serious matter.
Okay. Also, Sagar, given the fact that you're someone from the industry, do you have any, do you think there could possibly be any issue with the settings or any technical issue that might have come up that Xiaomi hasn't noticed?
Okay, so Xiaomi being primarily a China-based company, a lot of their development obviously happens in China, especially in terms of not just hardware, of course, but software as well. They have India presence and a lot of work happens in India. But if you notice, most of these apps are built first in China. So there could be settings where it's by default, if it is accessed outside India, it will be shown Arunachal Pradesh or particular territory as part of China.
Yeah. Okay.
But somehow it could be an overlook or something that now it's exposed in India, that if you're accessing from India also, it's showing as not part of India.
Okay.
And if you look at Google Maps, for example, that has been since quite some time. So if you look the POK part, for example, from India, it's shown as part of India. But if you access Google Maps outside India, then that part is shown as some gray matter or dotted matter, indicating that that's a disputed territory.
Okay.
So I think maybe Xiaomi is showing the content based on the location of the user, and this has now somehow slipped and exposed that in China they show different thing and in India they show different thing.
Okay, all right. Now also, even if we assume or give Xiaomi the benefit of the doubt, assuming that it is some sort of a technical issue that's just, broken up, come into India as well, isn't this something they should have addressed long back, given the fact that they rake in billions from the Indian market every year? So isn't this some sort of a responsibility that they have as far as Indian users are concerned? And also at a time like this when India and China aren't really the best of friends, do you think this could be a death knell for Xiaomi, given the fact that, there are already lot of allegations about them being associated with China, and also allegations that they are possibly there's this boycott China thing that is also happening. So do you think this could be a death knell for Xiaomi, and also do you think they should have addressed this much back, given the fact that they are doing such huge business here?
I won't say like this is a death knell for Xiaomi altogether at this moment right now. We need to see how do they respond and what exactly is the matter, why this is happening.
Okay, or let me put it this way. Let me put it this way, Sagar. Does this expose Xiaomi's double standards? Because on one hand, you have them claiming that they have nothing to do with the Chinese government. They have, they are completely as nationalistic as any other, application or any other company is concerned. But at the same time, this particular expose now also shows that this is something that they are not taking very seriously. Because if they had taken it seriously, Indian users wouldn't have faced all of this.
Yes, I think on the exposed part, this is absolutely that they have been exposed very badly on this. And if you notice, Ashish, in fact, most of the Chinese phones, in fact, they serve as backdoor data access.
Okay.
So that's actually very serious, and that has been happening since quite some time in some or other way. For example, if you notice, few years ago, there used to be some data cleaner or memory cleaner apps. And they were basically data harvesters of the users. And in fact, Google Play also realized that they harvest a lot of user data without informing users. And all of those kind of apps were banned from the Play Store. They were very big apps, like 500 million downloads on Play Store, and they were banned. And now most of these handsets by Chinese companies have their own data cleaner or own memory cleaner. They have gone into extent that they have put their own apps. For example, can you imagine we Indians are giving actually a lot of critical data to these handsets? For example, our SMSs, call logs, they are being taken with, of course, that checkbox and under the name of user experience improvement. But that data actually goes to some company in China, and they process that data and they show the information in our phone here. So that's extremely serious, and I really believe government of India should really take cognizance of this. Now imagine, for example, security personnel using these kind of Chinese phones, and the security personnel in areas like Kashmir or Arunachal Pradesh, they in fact are seeing different information altogether, and there a lot of activity and data is being taken back to these countries.
Exactly.
So, for example, now all these phones have activity trackers. So they can, in background, detect whether you are running, whether you are walking, whether the phone is idle, kept on table. That's being tracked indirectly or directly. Or they are like masqueraded in a way like your activity tracker or steps tracker. So that in fact gives them a lot of sensitive data directly or indirectly. And I think government of India should definitely take a very serious note of these kind of apps which come pre-installed in these phones.
Now we're talking about apps, Sagar. We're talking about apps. As government of India has taken note of most of the Chinese apps that come pre-installed, and something that a lot of users can't even uninstall, and that leads to a lot of sensitive information being leaked. But having said that, we're talking about their handsets itself, the weather application of this particular company's handset. In fact, not really acknowledging a territory that is there in India. So this is a clear I don't know what word to use for it, because for the apps we are using the word called as national security. I don't know what kind of word we can use for it. So the government of India needs to take very serious action against this company, like either apologize or at least clarify as to what exactly is the issue here.
Yeah, I think apology and clarification is definitely required, but what's more important is how are we as a nation, including government and including people, are really taking a note of this.
Exactly.
So are we supporting these kind of companies, this kind of propaganda, these kind of apps directly or indirectly? So we need to really give a lot of priority, a lot of focus to data secure apps and data secure systems. Let me tell you, it's not just a lot of these companies tell like with all sugarcoating that we have our servers in India, we keep data in in India of our Indian users. But if you notice, none of these tell that we don't share data with our parent companies.
Exactly.
We don't share data with other government, we don't share data with other country. They're not saying that. They're saying we are keeping data in India. So they are two very different things. I think the government probably needs to have guidelines to provide apps and these kind of operating systems as well, and handset manufacturers on what's really important and what needs to be shown or not shown in that way, which is fact driven and which is not propaganda driven or based on some countries' different propaganda.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sagar, for joining us on this live interaction. That was Sagar Bedmuta, clearly someone who is from the industry and knows how these applications work, how the data is being shared, clearly pointing out to us the fact that even though it is a technical issue, this is something that has exposed Xiaomi as a whole, the company, and also it's up to the users now as to what sort of companies are you supporting, what sort of handsets are you buying. Yes, all of these companies claim that they are made in India, but the thing that you need to realize is these are assembled in India, because India does not have a fab unit. That means that chips cannot be made in India. So no phone is absolutely made in India. So it's your choice, the kind of brand you're supporting, the kind of mobile you're buying, and also the data of yours that you're putting at risk. And again, it is up to the users and also Xiaomi's own responsibility now to come out and clarify whether this was done intentionally or was this a technical issue. With that, do let us know what you guys think in the comment section below, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News9 Digital. Thanks a lot for watching.